Welcome back, friends, to Watch Closely. It's a weekly stream, a weekly show, a weekly stream as well. It takes a closer look at the world of movies, television, and what's streaming. I'm your host, Jason, and joining me is my co-host, a man who's dashing and daring, courageous and caring, faithful and friendly with stories to share. Ernie, how you doing, bro?
Hello, hello. I am doing great, dude. How are you?
I'm well, dude. Welcome, everyone who's joining live. We are live again, and dude, how was your week? How's your week?
I had a wonderful week. Thank you for asking, my friend. Oh, sorry, I get the giggles, but I had a great week, dude. But also, I want to say this because I feel like most friends of the cast have had this happen. I'm sure you've had this happen as well. But have you ever just gotten a really great paycheck where it's like really good? You've worked a little bit more, and you know you've earned it, and it's like a good check. You're like, man,
really bonus. You get that.
Yeah. You're like, man, I'm gonna use this for the greater good, and by the greater good, I mean myself. Like, something stupid, right?
Yeah.
And then somehow, I don't know, so like it's like your car catches wind of this, right? And it's like, and it goes like, whoa, hey!
The universe must balance it out, right?
Yeah, it does. And so that happened. I was like driving, and I was thinking, man, I can't. This is a great check. I'm excited. And then all of a sudden, I pull into my driveway, and I have this. I'm driving. I'm driving from work to home, and I'm thinking of this. And as I'm thinking this, I pull into the driveway, and it's like something. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, bro. You gotta be kidding me. And then I'm like, well, I gotta go now. I have to freaking call off the next day, and then go to take it to the mechanic. So I take it to the mechanic, bro. Got the things I need fixed. Cost me about like $1,300.
Oh
and
my
I'm
gosh.
like, dude, geez Louise, bro. I'm
like
telling you,
paycheck
that car,
gone.
it's like the car knew. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the car was like, oh, I'll take that. And you're like, whoa, wait.
So hey, what do you think? What are you thinking about?
Yeah, what are you thinking? Oh man, I'm sorry.
What do you think this is? Yeah, I mean,
it's
it's not fun at all. But I mean, it's not a bad thing because like, I also don't mind spending it. I mean, it sucks to spend it, but also like, that's like my car. I drive it everywhere. It gets me to A to B. You know,
right.
You know what I mean? I need it. I don't have payments on it, but as long as I'm able to keep the upkeep on it, it'll work. It's fine. But it's like, I took it to the mechanic and got the two things I needed fixed, and then he goes, hey, just let you know you have a leak. And then I put my finger to his mouth and I went, shh.
You're like, please no.
We'll talk about this.
Just swipe my
We'll
card.
talk
I don't
about this
hear it.
next time. We'll talk about this next time.
Oh,
No.
man.
No, so I have to fix one other thing, but I'm like, it's fine. And he's like, hey, and I'm just kidding. I didn't do that. He's like, hey, and I'm like, he told me about that leak thing, and I'm like, hey, do I need to fix it now? And he's like, don't worry about it now, but definitely keep it on your mind. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. I accept
it. That's what happens to me, dude. Every end of the year, usually most jobs, they'll give you some sort of bonus or some sort of pay increase or something, right? And then every year I always underestimate how many taxes I'm going to owe. And so like, it's always 30. I need to just remember 30% goes to the government. Like I just have to keep it in my brain.
Someone's going to take it away. That's all.
And it always goes away, right? Like it always is like, oh yeah. Oh, never mind. Just take it. I want to be that. I want to be the one that takes it.
You want to be the IRS?
I want to be that guy.
You want to be there's a meme about the IRS or something like that where it's like, billionaire owing taxes or something crazy, and it's like mother or wife, mother of three, or something like that, and it's like let's get her instead of the rich person. They get the
Oh,
it's some stupid thing, but it's really funny, bro.
so dude, we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about this week. We're gonna go over. I'm gonna say it's a little bit of a light news week for movies. But one of the exciting things that I want to talk about is that we both saw Dune. I think we've both seen it twice now. And
We have, yeah.
dude, I want to get into your thoughts. Like, how was your viewing experience when you first saw it, and then the second time? Did it get
Well, no. I think the first viewing for me was great. Like I freaking loved it. I thought it was a great movie. I'm really glad that I had you there, because I was like that particular day was hectic. Right? I told you I had to wake up like 7 in the morning, clean the house.
Oh my
and
gosh, this guy had
once
a
I was
full schedule.
yeah, like I had a whole day, and like then I had to clean and all this stuff, and so I was tired, but I was really energetic at the time of viewing the movie. And then it got to this point. It's not a lull period because the whole movie's pretty great, but this point where I was like, man, I'm having trouble keeping my eyes open, even during all the flashing sun. You know how the brightness goes, right?
Yeah.
It's like super bright. I was like, man, I don't want to be like, I don't want to fall asleep, but I'm like I'm just like slowly going in and out of it. But you woke me up. You would wake me up. You started to shake me like a dog.
That's what I was like, dude, I just don't want him to miss it, so I'm just gonna keep like slapping him whenever I see him fall asleep. And I felt so bad because
no, dude, that was great because
you were like enjoying it, and then
miss
you'd be like, I could see your eyes.
yeah,
moving.
bro, I was so tired. My wife was like up for a while. I think she had like 3 freaking unsweetened iced teas or whatever, those sweet teas, and she was like hyper as heck. And I was like, I should have had some, and I'm all looking at the freaking screen. But yeah, so it was great. The first viewing was awesome. I'm glad I had you there. Like I said, the second viewing for me, I ended up going to another late show with one of my friends, and we were together, and I was excited because I was able to rewatch the movie and catch a lot of little things that I missed. Not because like I fell asleep or anything, just like there was more like context to things that I figured out, right? Because at that point I tried to rewatch the David Lynch one, the original. I went back and I rewatched a little bit of it, and then I had read halfway through the Dune book. I wasn't able to finish it by the time that I got to the movie, but like I had got a little more context. So when I was watching up there, I'm like, oh wow, this is this, and oh wow, they changed this, and stuff like that. But it was pretty neat, dude. I'm glad I was able to see it that second time. One of my buddies came down from Hawaii, and he came down for like 2 days, and he's like, dude, come watch Dune with me. And I'm like, all right, I'm down. I wasn't gonna go see it twice. I just was like, oh, I can't make the time, but I wanted to make the time for my friend because I hadn't seen him in months. So we ended up going, and we had a great time. And go ahead.
Did you watch it in IMAX or no? It was twice on the normal screen.
I think it was Dolby.
Oh, you watched it in Dolby? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, and no IMAX. I don't think there's showings around the time that I do it. It's like 10
It's
all the
solid,
time.
bro. I think it's like sold out for a while.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel like eventually I'll probably check it out when it's like.
Would you watch it a
out.
third time? Wow.
I would, yeah, definitely. I freaking loved it. I thought it was a great movie. My wife and I would talk about it for like days after we saw it. We would keep talking about it, and then we would just say, "Oh, it's such a great movie," and I'm like, "Yeah, it was, right?" And I'm glad because I think I was telling a friend of the cast, Lex, that like it's interesting because like my wife is not really into sci-fi movies, not like this. Like, don't get me wrong, we've had like geeked out moments of like Harry Potter, a little bit of Lord of the Rings here, but never sci-fi, never like Star Wars or anything like that. And that's like what I love, right? So seeing her and listening to her, react in this way made me so happy, bro. And but
Same with my wife, dude. Like I was so surprised because I wanted to watch it with you because you hadn't seen it yet, and I was like, dude, I wonder if she'll watch it again. And I was like, well, let me just ask her. It's like, you want to watch? Would you ever watch Dune again? She's like, I would. And I was like, what? Like, okay, because it dives into a lot of cool sci-fi stuff, and it's not her normal cup of tea, but she really enjoyed it. I think it just goes to show that we are fans of the story, right? Give us a good story, and we can get past any sort of crazy like stuff that might not be our cup of tea, but we're just so captivated by the story, right? And I think that's why it's doing so well, right? Like we should get into maybe like the numbers here if we.
Yeah, definitely.
Or do you want to talk any other things that you're watching before we jump in? Or
well, I wanted to mention one thing. I want to talk about my friends one of my friends and then his buddy went.
Oh yeah, how'd they like?
Well, yeah, they love the movie. I think they're like, well, so let me give you a little context to what I'm trying to say is that they both are book readers. They read the books. Like I think
nice.
My buddy read it up to book 4 or 5, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and then his friend read it all the way to book 6. And I think it's when his the son of the author takes over, I think, if I'm not mistaken, but they've read them.
Yeah, I think the author did the first 2, I think. And then
and then he died.
The other ones kind of take off into side stories, I believe. I don't know, because I know
like that. I don't want to really know. I don't really want to speak on it because I don't know.
Don't tell me. I just want to watch the movie.
No. I want to. I'm reading the first one, right? But they told me read up to book 4, and I think you should be good there. But I'm like, I'll see. I'm gonna read the first one, see how it goes. But yeah, so they had read the book. So after the movie, hearing their perspective was interesting because they were like, "Oh yeah, they changed this and then this." Like certain. Well, I'm not gonna spoil it, but certain characters, are a little different, and I think who's the people that the bald dudes again? Not the Iraq. I know they live in Iraq. Is oh my gosh, why can't I think of the darn name of
There's the Fremen, the
not the Freeman, the ones that are bald, bro. The freaking
I forget the name.
Why? I'm gonna put I wrote right here.
Did you write bald people?
I wrote Dune bald dude. Harkonnen, bro. They're called the Harkonnen, but I'm so.
And the Atreides was the ones that got massacred, right? All Atreides.
Yeah, the Atreides. Yeah. But yeah, so the Harkonnen, right? Some of the apparently in the books are a little bit more vicious. There's like more to them, and the one that dips himself in the balsamic glaze, he's a little bit different in the movie, or I mean in the book and in the movie. I think he does some pretty weird stuff. I won't get into it, of course. I don't want to spoil.
Dude, how good was he though? Like I know, like he's just supposed to be kind of like this grotesque figure, but like I loved like all his interactions. The way his chair just kept getting more wild and more elaborate, and he's like floating around. Dude,
yeah,
it's got a little bit of Jabba the Hutt, right? It's got a little bit of that.
Yeah. He's all nephew. He goes, happy birthday. He's happy birthday, nephew. But he's a weird dude. He's dope. I liked him a lot. I really wanted Dave Bautista to be a little bit more, I don't know why, but I mean, I haven't read the books, but like having him be more like violent.
He was a little one
crazier.
note, right? A little bit.
Yeah. It wasn't like they just kind of like took him out because Austin Butler ended up showing up and taking over the rest. You know what I mean? But like he made him look like such a coward at one point, and you're like, man,
and that's freaking Dave Bautista, bro.
That's
like
Dave Bautista. He's so awesome.
Yeah.
But he sold it though. He sold he sold it. Freaking, we have Chifa said, I love that movie, which I'm glad in front of the cast here. Yeah, dude, great movie. Like we definitely enjoyed it. I think Stilgard stole the show though, bro. Freaking Javier Bardem, bro, just fantastic, man. He's just, what does he say? He goes, as it was written.
He's a long Khalif. Or what is it? Yeah. I had a screenshot somewhere. I don't know where it went. He's a long Khalif. Dude, the guy's crazy. He had a lot of like the brevity moments, right? Oh, there he is. He's a long Khalif. I can't say it the way he does it, but like,
no, I know, but he's
he would have like these little bits where he'd be like, what's the name of the worm? He's like, the worm will choose you today, or you will die. It's like, well, you'll be fine.
Yeah. He I think it's called Shai Halud or
Shai
something
Halud.
like that.
It's
Shai
like,
Halud, I believe it's what they're
whether
called.
you live today or you die.
Yeah, Shai Halud. But freaking yeah, there's one where he goes, he's all, don't be afraid of the big worms. He's all, but the little ones, You know, something like he's
Oh
like
yeah,
scaring him.
well, he's
But
talking
he's
about centipedes or something, and then he's like,
centipede. There you go. Yeah.
he's like, the big ones are fine, and then he says the little ones, but he has his hands like this far apart. I was like, oh my gosh, the little ones are that big.
You know what I really wanted to see. What I wanted to see was the he calls it a sand spider or a scorpion. I forget what he's. There's something that he mentions. That
Yeah,
are
he
in
mentions like a couple different
but
bugs,
we don't
right?
see them.
And we never see
Right,
them.
and I really wanted to see that. Freaking Chifa said, "Have you seen the meme of the popcorn bucket?" Yeah, dude. Of course we have.
Oh,
Watch it.
yeah.
Check this out.
Dude, Ernie.
I don't know if
Ernie
he
is
he
the
probably-
meme.
I am the meme. Look at. Oh wait, how can you see it? Look at.
You have the poster stuck in
I
there.
have the poster in there. Yeah, I haven't
Nice.
moved it out because I don't know where to put it right now. But yeah, dude.
It's like safe. It's safe in the worm. It's safe.
Yeah, exactly. I think front of the cast, Lex wants to borrow it for something. I don't know.
Oh no.
I told him I don't know. Does he want it Does he want it used or does he want it clean? You know what I mean? No, I'm just
Yeah.
joking. Your face
Dude,
just took you a while to. Yeah.
Sorry, I was like, what is he gonna do with that bucket?
Who knows?
Oh man, it was great, dude. The thing I really wish was that you could. I don't know. Part of me wishes everybody could see this in IMAX because of the way it was shot. And I know like some people are just not near an IMAX, and it's like you just take what you can get. But the way it's so much wider, and I love that we get to live in the world a lot more in this one. Like we really get to the sense of the sand, like has these little areas of rocks, and like the inner workings of the caves and the different pieces of the religion of the Fremen, and I just felt like you lived in the world a lot more. And to me, I know like there's some people that are like, this is just way too long of a movie, but to me, like I felt like I was so involved in just wanting to see everything that it didn't feel like it was like, oh my gosh, 3 hours had gone by. Like at the end, I was like, oh dude, I could have spent more time, right? I could have spent more time in the world. And I love how it picks off like right at the end of the first movie, right? Like I don't know if you ever went back and watched like the end of the first Dune.
I did.
You get
Yeah.
to see how, he first meets the Fremen, and then like they go off, and it's like pretty much just picks up right there. And
Mhm.
to me, what I didn't realize was how quickly the Harkonnen like started chasing after them. Like that's so quick, right? It almost feels like because there's a whole movie and like there was a passage of time since we got that first
You think
book.
you're gonna get like a stop and then you're gonna get the next one?
Yeah,
like, for
it
a
was
minute,
like
yeah.
they're immediately like hunting them. I was like, oh, dude, that's crazy. That was pretty crazy. I don't know.
I mean, it's supposed to be one full book, right? What we saw.
Yeah.
So it's not like.
Part 1 and part 2 are the conclusion of the first book, and then we have
Yeah, exactly. And then we have Dune Messiah.
Dune Messiah is the follow up. Yeah, and
so-
the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was like, how did you feel about? Well, I mean, it's kind of a spoiler, but do you think the third book? I guess. Do you think obviously the third movie is gonna get made because so many people are watching it. It's really successful. Do you think the third movie, knowing what you know about the book, is gonna be as well received as this one? Because well, go ahead. There's no clear.
Well, it's difficult to say, right? Because right now, the way that people are perceiving the movie, there's like two camps, right? We kind of know what's gonna happen with Timothée Chalamet because obviously he's a false prophet, and or it's led to believe, right? And even like Zendaya's character Shawnee says it. It's in the movie if you go watch it. And I think depending on how, like, because obviously people are gonna take it a certain way when the movie does come out, you're gonna see something that is gonna be very Game of Thrones-ish. You know what I mean? Where you're gonna see
that's a
something
good
that's
point.
just gonna change the character. That you're gonna be like, whoa. Maybe
And
I
I
don't
think we
like
saw
this,
a
but,
little
but,
bit
but,
of
but I
that
want to say this
this
though,
one.
Jace, because okay, that could happen, right? Maybe Timothée Chalamet will be unlikable, but that happens with Walter White, right? Sorry, spoiler. Breaking Bad has been out for a while, but in Breaking Bad, I think I always usually reference this, but in the beginning of the show, it's Walter White, professor at a high school, great guy, has cancer, and you're like, man, I want him to succeed. You start seeing his character develop, right? As like, things are happening. He starts to sell drugs and all that. You get to the end and you realize, man, he's a bad dude. he's a bad guy. Like we shouldn't like him, you know what I mean, because of the things he's done. And I think if, like again, like you said, everybody wants a good story. I think if it's well written, which is already obviously it's a book and it was well written, but if it's well adapted into film, I think they could definitely do a great job, especially with Timothy Chalamet. Like one of the great things that I noticed in my second viewing, I mean, I noticed in the first one, but in the second one, it was more apparent. Like you could see the character from the beginning of the movie, how different he is at the end. Like he actually does a great job acting as the later the later Paul. There's a shift in the middle, and you see it, and you're like, holy cow! Like he's doing it. Like he's actually showing you character development right here and there. Because in the book, I believe the time of him becoming what he ends up doing it towards the end, I think is 2 years in the book. But I think in the movie, I believe you were telling me it's like 6 months. So they made it faster.
They compressed it, for the movie.
So,
and I thought it was smart, right? Because the way they kept cutting back to Rebecca Ferguson's her baby, right? I mean, is that a spoiler? I don't remember if they said that in the first book or the first movie, but it basically happens over the process of her birth, right? So you kind of get 9 months or 6 months, just about. But that was a very clever way to do it, I thought. Being someone who didn't read the book, so I didn't know the differences, but I thought, I thought it worked. I thought the way they did it worked really well. And you're right, dude. How good are Timothy Chalamet and like all the actors were so good. The thing that really hit me was Javier Bardem being what's his name? I forgot his name again.
Stilgard.
Stilgard.
Yeah.
If you think of him playing Stilgard, and then you think of him in like as Ricky Ricardo in that I Love Lucy movie, or any of the other movies he's done, he is completely different, and like he completely owns that character. He's 100% into this role, and it's so much fun to watch him. And I really liked his character a lot. I thought he added a lot to it. And same for Chalamet, right? Like if you think of Wonka, and then you think of him in this, completely different. It's almost like he's grown in as an actor just between those two movies, right? Like he had so much range in this one. I really liked. Yeah, I thought it was great. Definitely where I would see it again. I felt like right now it's the meatiest movie we've had in a while, right? It's got the most like substance, and dude, I mean, even if you look at the numbers, dude, it's doing really well. What?
The meatiest.
The meatiest, the wormiest. Let me. I just want to check on the numbers real quick since we're here. How's the daily charts doing? Let's see. Looks like as of today, which is this Thursday, Dune Part 2 is at $104 million, which is how many days has it been out? For 6 days it's been out. Made 104. Dude, I'm curious what the overseas is. Bob Marley is at number 2. Still doing well. 84 million. The Chosen season 4 is just cranking along, dude. Every time they come out with a couple new episodes, it just rises to the top of the charts. Ordinary Angels is number 4, which is the one with Reacher, right?
Yeah.
The guy that plays Reacher. Madam Web is at number 5. Dude,
yeah, let's go.
Madam Web, dude. Madam Web is at 41.
It's because you know why? You know why it's at number 5 still?
Tell me.
Because it was so good, you had to see it twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're still waiting on like most of the people to see it once.
We're still waiting on people to see even half of it. I heard someone walked out. They wrote a thing where they walked out, and I was like, wow.
Oh,
it's
man.
interesting to hear people say they walked out of things because you had already paid for it. Might as well stick to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But again, like time is money, I guess. I don't know. But it's just like it trips me out. Like one time
and it's not like it's vulgar or like, like there's
not
certain
the
movies
worst
were you
thing.
watch it and it just like grosses you out or something. You're like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to leave. Right. Or it's like too raunchy or something. And like, I can understand that. But Madam Web is so tame, and it's the most offensive thing is like bad dialogue, bad.
The most offensive thing is the movie. You're all
bad acting. But I mean, it's not like offensive. Right? It's just really bad. You're like, I was offended.
you know what's crazy is I think I wanted to talk about this because we're talking numbers and I really wanted to mention this. And I sent you this text, but you had not replied to me.
Oh, which
and
one?
I want to double check on this. So I saw this on Google. I Googled this. Huh?
I was like, I didn't reply to text. He's throwing me under the bus. Which one was it?
No, you're fine, dude. I mean, life happens, dude. I don't even reply to you sometimes. Sometimes you'll be like, something, and then I don't reply, and then I look. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm so sorry. I do that with friend of the cast Lex, but the thing with friend of the cast Lex is he'll like let me know that I ignored him. So he'll send a message like later on, be like, oh, so we're just gonna ignore what I said.
That's awesome. Oh, so you're just not gonna reply? Okay.
So and I always tell him, I'm like, I don't get mad when he sends me that because I'm like, no, thank you. I didn't even think I forgot. You know what I mean? I don't
he's
mind,
like reminding you, like
he's reminding me, but he does it like that. So I was looking into this. I said I typed on Google. You could do this yourself. I put how much did Argyle cost and how much did Dune 2 cost to be made.
Oh yeah.
And according to 3 sources, Argyle cost $200 million, and Dune cost, with 5 sources claiming this, $190 million, dude. What else? What was that extra $10 million that Argyle needed to get to where it was?
It was the CGI cat. We didn't have any
was
CGI
it,
cats.
No, it was. Are you sure it wasn't when she's ice skating in the freaking in the gasoline
on the fake oil? Oh my god,
on the fake oil, dude. I was rewatching. So when we had gotten to see that movie, right? I remember thinking, well, that's fun. It's silly, you know. I know what I'm getting here. But as I rewatched the clip, and someone had posted it on Twitter, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is pretty ridiculous. Like this is silly as hell. Like you didn't need this to be added in this movie. And then she does like this little thing, and she winks at the dude.
Oh yeah, when it's like slow motion or something, right?
Oh yeah. My gosh! And then she does this thing where she like glides on her knees and is like is like cutting kneecaps.
Yeah, she has like, is it swords or she has like pistols?
I don't even know what she has, bro. It's such a weird. It's just man.
That is gonna become a cult classic of like those, you know, those like really cheesy like Mystery 3000 movies, or like back in the day. People are gonna look upon that as like, what in the world happened in this one? This one's just so bizarre, and it's so funny because Kingsman, bro, like we've had a bunch of great Kingsman movies, and then the same director was like, let's give you this and then tie it in with Kingsman at the end. I didn't know. I was like, what the heck's going on?
I'm curious to see how they're gonna end up. I mean, I think you should have said that. You just spoiled the movie, dude.
Nah, it's out there. It's out there.
Is it?
How it's tied.
You just said it was tied, dude.
Okay,
none of us know that it's none of.
Ernie's like, I don't even know, and
I don't even know that it's how it's gonna be tied. No, nobody knows, but we just know that it is.
Yeah, we just know that it is. Yeah.
I mean, I doubt most of y'all have been waiting this long to watch this movie. If you hadn't watched it now, it's like I don't think this is like one of those movies that are like this is on my backlog. I'm gonna watch it in June. It's like, no, you should have watched it already. But again,
I think it'll probably do good on streaming. It seems like a streaming movie, right?
It is, dude. I said this too. It's like some movies are made to stream, and it's not like that sounds like you're trying to be mean, but it's not. Streaming is it's a great platform. It's just not a viable option for money to be made, right? That doesn't make as much money as putting Dune Part 2
feels like it was made for streaming too. Like if you watch it on a smaller screen, probably like some of the visual effects won't look so terrible. Like there was a lot of cheesy visual effects that were like, okay, this is made for television. Like this seems like it's a CW level. Like not saying they're bad, like I'm sure they
whoa.
I'm sure they put a lot of effort into it, but some of them were like, come on, like the way she's skating on that come on. But I mean, it's still holding into the top 8, dude. I think Demon Slayer, a lot of its box office got eaten by Dune because I feel like it's a similar audience, don't you think? Like people who are watching Demon Slayer probably went and watched Dune.
Yeah, I have a buddy of mine, a friend of the cast, Kyle. He did the One Piece episode. I always reference that, whatever. But he had told me, which is funny because Kyle Golden Doodle, we call him. But he had said that he's like the movie. We're talking about Dune. He was giving me a ride to go pick up my car to the mechanics, and we're talking about Dune, and we just got into it, a really huge discussion about it. And then he goes, "It's kind of like an anime. It kind of reminds me of of an anime, and then he started getting into why and all that. And I was like, this is interesting because, like you just stated it, that's probably why it does appease a certain crowd of people. The cool thing is that it does that, but it also appeases a lot of people who wouldn't otherwise like movies like this. I haven't seen a lot of people hate on this movie recently. I just seen one tweet, because obviously there's always all kinds of crazy tweets. I'm sure people hated it. I don't even know. But there was one person, they're like, oh, this is overhyped, something. And I'm like, they're full of it. Like, you could tell that they're full of it. They're just saying it to be against the thing. Because it's like, no, come on.
I saw, I wish I knew the TikToker's name. I'd shout him out. But like, he starts off the TikTok and he's like, all right, everybody's giving this praise. Let me tell you what I really think. And he just starts going off on this like rant about why it's a horrible movie. And then like halfway through the video, he switches it like, I'm just kidding, guys. It was fantastic. Like, he went through this whole spiel and I was buying it. I was like, really? And he's giving all these reasons.
It's for clicks, dude. I saw this one guy who had tweeted out, like, he's like, oh, I'm going to go see Dune 2 because all the hype's about it. It doesn't even look that great. And then the next tweet after he finishes it, he goes, you guys are right.
You guys are right. That's awesome. Well, no, but so, I mean, like the ones I saw that were negative where people were saying like, oh, this is like a, it's another white savior complex. Like,
yeah, but that's not even.
But like, did you watch the movie, right?
Did you watch the movie? No,
that's not what I was asking you. Do you think the third one, because I don't know if you see.
Well, that's the thing, right? That's the point of the third one is like, you're going to see that that's not the case.
Right.
But again.
And I feel like this movie did a good job of kind of hinting at that strongly, right? Like they planted a lot of seeds.
Yeah,
sure.
They planted a lot of seeds. And it's cool. And what I don't even hear, which is something I'm surprised about, is how great the women in the movie are, right? You know how people are always like, we need women in the, whatever. In the whole book, in the movies, the women are controlling the men. Like, go see it. Like, that's what it is. Like, there's like man, what are they called? The Reverend Mothers, right? And they are kind
Jesuit.
of,
I don't know.
They're the ones kind of controlling what is gonna happen and what, like, how to protect themselves and all that stuff. And it's like, those are where are you guys? Where are all those people that are like, oh, there's no women in movies? They're all right here, dude.
All right there, dude. I felt Rebecca Ferguson did a good job. I thought she did.
I love Rebecca Ferguson. She's sweet. Lady Jessica,
dude.
What about Florence Pugh, dude? When she's talking to the freaking little dial and it's like scribbling stuff or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, dude. What's his name that she's always talking to? Who's the main?
Christopher Walken, Emperor.
Christopher Walken. Dude,
Emperor,
the second time I watched the movie, I had a freaking dream that I was like in that scenario,
walking on sunshine. I'm just kidding.
No, with like Christopher Walken and Florence Pugh. Like for some reason they were like talking, and somehow I got involved in the conversation. And
oh man,
I don't know. Dang. Christopher Walken had an effect on me for some reason.
God, that's awesome. Wait, did you is this like what you heard after the fact? Like when in the dream, did you hear this? Dude, that's so cool. You know what's funny is on my second viewing, I wanted to see if I can catch a walk-in. That sounded funny.
Catch a walk-in. Did you know
if I could catch him walking? No, I mean, like, you know how he's Christopher Walken and he has his walkinisms, you know, of how he is.
Oh, you're looking for
and I was looking for that. And he does do one thing at one point. He says something and I'm like, man, there it is. And I forget exactly where it was, but there is a walkinism. But continue. What were you saying?
I was going to say, remember the dance that he did where the weapon of choice? Yeah. I didn't realize that that's Dune. Did you realize that that's what the lyrics when he does the little dance and he's like the something, what is the lyrics? Weapon of choice. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
If you look at the lyrics to Weapon of Choice, it says let me get the Fatboy Slim. It says don't be shocked by the tone of my voice. Check out my new weapon, the weapon of choice, which is the voice, right? The voice from Dune where he goes like, do it. You know, she can command people to do things. And then
Is that why he's dancing like that? Where he's doing the sand walk right there?
yeah, he's doing the sand walk. I didn't realize somebody was like talking about it on Twitter. I was like, what? And he says, the walk without the rhythm, it won't attract the worm. That's one of the lyrics. So he's literally like walking without the rhythm to not attract the worm. I was like, what? I didn't know Fat Boy.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't even know about Fat Boy Slim.
It's an old song, but
Fat Boy and he's slim.
have you ever seen this with his dance, dude? I love
I've seen the video. I've seen the dance.
Oh, okay.
That's
but yeah, I didn't know.
He should have done that in the movie, dude. Walking as
maybe he's such a super fan of Dune that
possibly.
That's why I love this. Look at this. Freaking Christopher Walken.
Dude, look at him, dude. He's walking on sunshine.
He's walking on the sunshine.
Oh, I didn't know he could do that.
Oh yeah, man. This is a great video.
Wow, I'll tell you, it is a great video. I don't even want to hear the music. Go ahead.
Sorry, what?
I don't even want to hear the music of Fat Boy Slim. I just want to watch.
Well, I sure will get copyright. I don't know. We should. But let's get into speaking of. Oh, dude, I wanted to tell you. I missed you at the fan event.
Whoa!
Disney event.
What event, dude? Did you go see Bob Iger without me? Just kidding.
I went to Disney after dark, dude. I wanted to.
What? Is that like Twitter after dark?
It's so
pornography. Just kidding.
No, dude. Disney after dark. I don't know what that would be like. Naked women.
That'd be wild. Naked. Yeah, I don't
know. But yeah, they had it was called Disney Channel Night. I don't know if you can see, but they had the castle and like Main Street lit up with the little Disney. Like, do you remember Disney Channel where they used to like
yeah.
And like they gave you glow sticks. So you could do the little Instagram thing where you're like, dee, 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 and then welcome back.
Did you do it?
Channel. I didn't. I saw a lot of people.
Why?
I was playing with the glow stick. I still have the glow stick somewhere.
I know, but what? Okay, let me tell you something. All right, let me ask you this. What is the point of you spending this X amount of money to go do this thing and not take it full advantage of these like little dumb gimmicks that they do? Like that's the point of it. You should have. Well, I'm not trying to, but I feel like I'm kind of yelling at you, but you should.
I think I did it, but I didn't gram it. How about that? I think I did it like just playfully, like I was.
But if you didn't gram it, did it really happen?
Did it really happen? Dang. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Sorry, that's a good one.
But I just want to say for everyone who lives in California and wants to go to Disneyland, but thinks it's gonna be like the worst experience because there's so many people, it's like overcrowded right now. The night events are the way to go, especially because you can get mixed into the crowd early. So like this is the second time we've done this. We did the one the 50s night, I think, or whatever it's called, 60s night. And this is the one, the most recent one I've never done. I don't even think they've done the Disney Channel night up until this year. This is a new one. But you can literally go on like every ride that you want to go on in one day. Whereas you don't have to do the Genie Pass. You don't have to do, but that's why I want to have you do the Star Wars night, dude. If you want to go, dude, let me know. I'll go with you. But
I'm super down. I gotta ask my wife. Right now, she was telling me that she's like, I think I told you the other day. She's like, I'm like, oh, do you want to? They're asking me if you want to do the Star Wars night, and she goes, "Dang," and that's all she said.
And that's all she said.
And so I don't know what that means because it is dang as in yes, dang or no dang as in no.
But yeah, I would totally go with you, bro. This was cool. They gave you like a little lanyard with like a Disney Channel looking thing. And
did they play like the 90s? Did they play like Goofy song like dan 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 dan?
All this, the whole Main Street and like everywhere you would go, there was like nostalgic music. So they had like the DuckTales, they had Gummy Bears, they had Tailspin or whatever, like all those songs. They had Hannah Montana, they had the High School Musical songs, but it was all
Did they have the guy that would shoot Coca-Colas and then he would have to catch them and give them to you by space?
Maybe they did. Maybe I wasn't in that section.
Oh man.
They had like the zombie, what is it? The High School Musical zombie parade that was going through, and like a whole bunch of cool like songs. Because like my wife didn't realize, she was like, what's the big show, right? What's the big show on Disney Channel now? I'm like, it's all streaming. Like there's no more Disney Channel. She's like, oh, she didn't put that two and two together. That now like it is nostalgia, right? Like you can't, there is no Disney Channel anymore. But the thing I really loved was all the characters, right? Everywhere you go, there was like the Disney afternoon characters. So like I got to see DuckTales. We got to see Launchpad, dude. I saw Baloo the bear and like from Tailspin, and like it was cool, bro. I thought like, next time they do it, we should go. I thought it was really fun. But we went on pretty much every single ride. I'm humble bragging right now, but dude, if you guys,
I know you sound like Dakota Johnson when she says that she just lays by the beach.
yes, should we get into that? I want you to read that quote for me, bro.
Which one? The horny one? All right, let me know when you're going to start.
Can't fake it.
What?
So what was this? What was this article?
What?
Maybe we should just read. So she was being interviewed by Bustle, apparently.
Says
Bustle
Dakota sounds
Johnson,
like a porn site, huh? Bustle, you wrestle.
Yeah, what is Bustle? Okay, let's just read a little bit of it so we can get a sense for what this was about. So Dakota Johnson isn't very online, but she's sometimes tempted. I occasionally think of something or say something that I feel would be really great on Twitter, she says, grinning. She's probably right. Johnson has just wrapped a 2-week press tour of Marvel's Madam Web that's variously called chaotic, unhinged, and refreshingly honest. She has the kind of virality that can't be studied. And to be clear, it's not. She says, I live way out. You should do the voice, bro. You did it so much better. I live way out on the beach out in Malibu, she says. There's your humble brag. Says her personal life with her partner, Chris Martin from Coldplay. She says, I need to be in nature. I can be out of my house and not speak to another human for days on end, and I feel wonderful. Which is, I mean, to be fair, right? Like that is something we all probably need, like to just detach.
Dude.
Did you delete your Instagram, by the way?
Mine?
Yeah, I thought maybe you deleted your social media the other day.
No, it's there. I just don't really go on it. But can I tell you something? Okay. I had thought that I was not muted, so I was telling you something, and I'm like, let me find where you're at. Let me find where you're at. And I typed in beach, and all I had read was like, I'm here with 34-year-old actor at the restaurant at Beach Santa Monica. We're having a nice paired wine with. I'm just kidding. No, that's not what it says. But I was trying to find where you were at, and I don't know where that is.
Oh, just find the picture. Look for the picture.
Which is the picture? Oh, that's a good bookmark. I like the one with the little goat.
So according to like the summary, it said the sentiments expressed highlights a significant tension in the film industry between creativity and commercial pressure. Johnson underscores the challenges filmmakers face when movies are produced by committee focused on data and algorithms rather than artistic vision. The tension isn't confined to big budget movies. It's increasingly prevalent in smaller projects, alarming to those who value creative integrity. So I think the reason why you had this article is that she goes on to say like it's weird, right? Like she said the whole process of her filming the movie was weird, and I think she's trying to. Go ahead.
I think the big takeaway that I had from this is basically she tells you listen to the people and what they're enjoying. You know what I mean? Like I think that's the big thing. The big takeaway of this whole article. I don't really care about other stuff. I mean, I'm not like. I mean, she's writing a book, but I don't think we're gonna read it. But maybe it's gonna be a great one. Who knows? Look at the part right there. And horny.
Oh yeah, read the part. Read the part that she's talking about the book. She's like, I'll be
the black, the bold one, and then I'll be the.
Okay. Do you mainly read literary fiction? Are you a bit of a book snob?
Yeah.
I am too, but all of the momentum right now seems to be in erotic fiction or erotic fantasy. In the United Kingdom, they call it bonkbusters. Like people are really into it
because people are so repressed
and horny.
People are horny and they feel so ashamed about it.
I found it jarring when the main character in Beautyland logs into Twitter and finds her friend labeled as asexual.
Yeah, it's definitely jarring and also sad. It's not appropriate for us to do that to other people.
This interviewer, dude, oh my gosh, it's like
no. I bet it reads funny, but I bet when they're
It was probably
doing
just
it,
casual conversation.
it's
right?
very
Just funny
casual.
written
Yeah,
out.
exactly. And I mean, again, they're entitled to what they have to say, and whatever. I mean, they obviously have their, what their mindset is about whatever sexuality is in books. I don't know. I haven't. I'm not going to read those books, but I want to get into that thing that I was telling you about, and how she felt with that. Do you feel like there is like a like why aren't like the companies listening to people what they love, right? Like we just got Dune 2. We just talked about it. We went into it. We really enjoyed it. Like why aren't there are they making more things like Dune? Like why do we get crap like I can't think of something that we've got like the Marvels, right? Wasn't that great? It was all right. But
It was okay.
it was all right, and then, like I don't want to hate on it because it does have its moments, but it wasn't that great. Like I've watched that movie twice and I can't tell you any moment in the scene that I could really remember. Like I don't remember.
Yeah, it's very forgettable, right? And I think I was thinking about this the other day because like for the last, I don't know, 100 episodes that we've done of this podcast, like a lot of times our phrase is like, this is just not for us anymore, right? But then the more I am looking into kind of like all this, all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes and how they're trying to push like political agendas and stuff like that.
Wokenstein.
The what? The Wokenstein?
Wokenstein.
Yeah. But I feel like that's why we keep saying that, right? Because we're not connecting with what they're trying to sell us, basically, right? Like we don't, and you keep saying it's not for us anymore, but then I'm like, well, who's it for? Right?
You're not
like
picking up what they're putting down. Go ahead, sorry.
No, none for me, thanks. Yeah, it just feels like they're going after an audience that they
Isn't
think
there.
Yeah, it's not there, right? Like it's like we love a good story. The reason why I brought up the third Dune is because I feel like if you go back and look at the original Star Wars or like the movies that really kind of stick with you, what's a good one? Like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, like the classics one, the ones that are like you buy this on Blu-ray or you buy, whatever the new media is, like you come out with, like you're gonna buy this. This is gonna be the box set because it's so good, right? Back to the Future, I don't know, maybe it's that, whatever it is for you. What is it for you? Is it?
Oh,
X-Men
for me,
First
like
Class? Is
probably
it
Back to the Future, like you said.
Indiana
Like movies that I just bought,
Jones,
dude. But see, I say this,
the
Jace.
first Matrix. Go ahead.
Yeah, the first Matrix. I'll tell you this because I have a lot of movies, but I feel like my taste in movies isn't like you. I like a lot of cheesy stuff, so it's like pretty bad cheese.
Well,
You
that's
know what
fine.
I mean?
Like,
So it's tough. So like I can't give you like I'm over here passing judgment to people who love the Marvels, but sometimes people who talk about these movies, what bugs me is I think they're lying. You know what I mean? I know it's not the greatest movie, but the way they talk about it, it's like this was the best thing, like that. It was not. Clearly, it was not.
Yeah.
But people do that, and again, I don't know if they're doing it. Oh, because they're either selling. It's like I forget what the guy is. You send it to me, but he's like really famous for his reactions, and I think a lot of his stuff is clickbait. But he like grabs the movie and he's like.
Right, he's like,
vigorously, and I'm like,
yeah. But
nothing needs to have you be shaking for dear life like that.
There are signs of when something is really great is when like the merchandise, like people will buy a figurine of somebody that represents like I love this person, like I love who this. People love Deadpool, right? Deadpool is something of like I can relate to him. Like I can see a part of myself in this person or this character, right? And they'll go out and buy the merch. They'll buy the shirts. Like they will represent that character. And whether it's Deadpool, whether it's I don't know Indiana Jones, whether it's Luke Skywalker, right? Like people see themselves in these characters, and that's when you get like that's why people are like, oh, who's your Disney character, and like, oh, who represents you. And I feel like nobody like we were at Disneyland, and they had these shirts for like the Marvels, and I was like, "You want one of these?" to my wife, and she's like, "No." Like she did this like, "No." Like why would you like who?
Why would you
buy
ask me that?
It's because they don't see themselves in this in that
Yeah,
movie.
they
Right?
don't
They don't
really
see
like the
themselves in those
characters.
characters.
It's
And
funny
it was written
because
to appease that audience of supposedly it's to, you're supposed to see yourself in these women.
yeah,
And
yeah. I think
like,
the same thing happened with Star Wars: Force Awakens and that trilogy, right? The Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. They sold toys, but like now you can go find them at a discount store for like $2. You know what I mean? Like they just didn't sell well enough. Like
yeah.
usually, if you go look for a Skywalker from back in the day or an Anakin, like they're pretty hard to come by. You know what I mean? Like they're not easily
Oh
found.
yeah.
Like they
And they're
were.
going back and reprinting like the models of like the the action
The
figures,
old
right? They're going
stuff,
back to
yeah.
the old stuff because that's the stuff where
That people
the
want.
characters were authentic, the characters were real, and people could relate to them. And yeah, I agree.
Uh,
Like it,
I think the big thing that I've noticed is, like you said, they're trying to make movies to appease a certain audience, and obviously it's not working. I think I don't know, man. It's tough because we always talk about She-Hulk, but with like She-Hulk, we watched it and like it was like I liked Tatiana Maslany, I believe her name is, and she was great. And then they start to like do this thing where they start attacking like the audience, the fans, to like be
Oh,
like, oh,
right.
he's like, you guys are this or whatever, and it's like why are you
where it's
doing
like
that?
we knew all along you were gonna start trashing this series. And it's like, what? No.
Like, why would you even do that? You're setting yourself up. It's like I forget. There's like a mindset that when you go to work, you're like, I'm gonna have a terrible day, so you end up having a terrible day.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's
You're
like
just
they
setting
did
yourself
that.
up like you're
Just setting
pre-programming
yourself up for
Yeah.
failure. It's like, why do you do that? Like I think it would have been much greater had they worked on their story a lot better and not worked on this like sort of talking crap to people. It's like you blame the audience, but then your audience isn't there. I always talk about the movie Bros, right? That was built. It's a homosexual movie about two gay dudes, right? And I haven't seen it. It's like a rom com or whatever. And this was to appease gay people, right? This is like the audience for that. Where were they? The movie didn't do well. You know what I mean? It didn't do well, and then the guy, I think the main guy, he ends up blaming people who don't like gay people or something like that, and it's like,
No, it's just the audience was really small. That's why it didn't do very well, right?
no, it's not for everyone. Like I don't watch I don't watch Hindu movies. The last one I watched, or Hindi, whatever I forget what they're called, but
Hindi,
like
yeah.
RRRR, right? The 3 R's.
Oh, 4 R's.
That
That's
sounds
the
like I'm
next one.
freaking. I know that was like, dude. Every time I say it, it sounds like I'm barking. Arr, 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 arr.
RRR.
But 3 R's, so we're gonna call it thirds.
Dude, it's such a good movie though.
Great movie. I would have
Yeah.
never watched it. That wasn't for me. That was for someone else. But had you not told me about it, I watched it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's the problem. Is like if you're not gonna go look for these things, you're not gonna go find it.
Well,
You're not
and
gonna
also,
be able to
I
watch
think-
it. It's just
I think people are trying like okay, Bros is a good example because I feel like the audience for that it's targeted at is a small niche audience. Like it's not everyone, right? It's not catering to families. It's not catering to like moms and dads. It's not catering to like, it's a specific target audience. Whereas the same thing for Barbie, right? Like a lot of people who didn't like Barbie went into it with a mindset that this is supposed to be for me, when it was clearly targeted it was a movie for women about a girl's toy, like a toy that they grew up with, right? And so if you didn't like the movie, it probably was because it wasn't for you, right? It wasn't targeted at you. It doesn't mean that you can't enjoy the movie. Like you can still watch Bros and enjoy it. It's just that you probably wouldn't go out of your way to watch if you saw the trailer and you're like, well, it's not really speaking to me. Like, but you shouldn't go off on social media like, what? The reason why it failed was because of this. It's like, well, no, you just picked a really small niche audience. Like,
exactly. Yeah, I mean that's the problem. It's like,
and the same thing that's happening
that's the thing is like it is, and this is like a common thing everywhere. They play the victim card, and it's the easiest thing to do. Rachel Zegler did it, right? When everyone came after her with Snow White, but she was like talking crap about Snow White, and then she ended up coming out in an interview saying like, "Oh, I'm hurt because you guys were coming at me or whatever." And she was like, "No, you were just talking crap about it." And then people got mad about it. And then she did that interview with, oh my gosh, the guy from Spider-Man, with the Amazing Spider-Man. What's his name?
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield, and she's like, we need, and then he's like, yeah, you know, people are something, something. He's all, and then Andrew Garfield's, we need to guide them. We need to guide them. Or something like
Oh
that. Do
yeah,
you remember this? And I
that
was
was
like,
weird.
it was really strange. It was like, why do this interview? Like, why come out and say this? And it's because they're wrong. They need to like fix the stupid damage she made. You know what I mean? Like,
And I'm sure there's like a handful, like a small subset of people who really liked what she had to say, right? But it's not the general audience. Like if she's trying to sell a movie,
see, that's
I
the
don't
thing.
think
That's not the
that's the way to go
mindset
about
that
it.
people at that time had, right?
Right.
The mindset that people have now is so different because culturally we've changed as a society, right? Everything that we used to be okay. Well, I mean, even if I'm not gonna say it was okay because things that weren't as bad are way worse now. Like people used to be like say a bunch of things like people used to call mentally ill people the R. Well, I don't want to say it, but the R word, right? Back then, people used to just say it. There was a song by the Black Eyed Peas. Let's get in here. And it's the R, right? You know, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it was a song.
that, yeah.
It's a lyric. It's there, and that was okay then. I'm not gonna say it was okay, but at that time, no one was getting canceled for it. Now it's like you say it, and you're obviously people are gonna come after you because it's not okay, and it isn't. But I think because she's coming after the people, because that's such a beloved IP from people like I'm talking about, like women in their 40s, men in their 40s, you know, like older generation. And then you're talking crap like, oh, I'm going to change this because we want it to be the way it is now. And it's like, that's not what we want. We want the original story. You know what I mean? And so, like, I think that's one of the main reasons because it's not that audience, right?
Yeah, I don't think the audience has really changed that much in the last 10 years. I think I actually like that a lot of the, you know, the awareness is good. I think there's a lot of good, you know, you should be mindful of people who have disabilities. You should be mindful of people with different orientations. All that stuff is great. But I think we still want good stories, right? Like we still want to be told, you know, we still want heroes. We still want villains. We still want, you know, journeys and growth in our characters. We want to see ourselves in, like, I think that's why Superman and Batman are so like iconic, right? Because they represent an ideal of what a society could be, right? Like I could see I could strive to be like Superman, or I could strive to be like Batman, right? Like they represent good, like possibility in society. And I think that's why Superman, like he's a kind of a corny character, right? Like he's the original superhero that we, you know, I think he's the original superhero that DC created. And we can still see ourselves in that character, right? Because he's idealistic. Like he's like, man, I wish I could be like Superman, right? I wish I had the power to go and just make things right. But part of us wants to, right? Part of us sees ourselves in that character. Yes, you know, I want to do that. I would love to go save the day, and you know. So I don't think that part of us has changed at all as far as like the types of things we want to see on screen. I mean, yes, we want to deconstruct things and we want to see things, you know, from a different angle. And it's cool to have, you know, scary movies is fine. You know, we were talking about this the other day with my family. We had a get together, and they're saying how I didn't even bring it up. Like this wasn't even me. Like they said, horror movies are so much different now.
You
No,
you
I
put it
swear.
in there. You somehow sprinkled it.
I'm like, what do you think about horror movies? But they're saying how horror movies nowadays are so much different than how they used to be. And I think it goes back to what I always say is that a movie should be good before it's a horror movie, right? And it should happen to be scary, right? The situation should take you down a path that's scary because it's serving the story. You don't go out and just say, I'm going to write a horror movie like that. Then you completely like miss the point, right? It should be, this is a good story that has scary elements in it. And that's what makes a good horror movie. When you do it based, are you clicking thing? What are you doing? You're muted, bro. Yeah.
My bad.
No, yeah, but that's what my thinking is. Like, I think if you want to make a good scary movie, like start with a good story and then lead them down situations that happen to be scary. But
I see what you're saying, but also like I think for the most part, people just like it comes back to what we said. Like there's something for everyone, and maybe it might not be for you, but there's always differences in every scary movie. I mean, most of them follow the same kind of guideline, but that's because you're not expanding to other films that do different things. Like, I know we always talk about this. Like you were saying, oh yeah, I think you had said this once. And again, I'm not going against you. I'm pretty sure most people think this, but it's like you watch American horror films, and like I just said, they all follow the same kind of sort of guideline. It's this, it's this, it's this, and this, and that's how it ends. And you're like, oh well, I've seen this kind of movie already. But it's like, go watch a Japanese one, go watch a Korean horror film, go watch a foreign horror movie. Far different. They're not the same. You know what I mean? But again, no one's looking for that. This is what we're fed because this is like culturally, this is kind of what we've kind of grown to know. So people find it like when you eat something that you really like, what's it called? Comfort food, and that's what it is. It's comfort. It's like you're not going away from that comfort and going like, let me go find something that might be a little different. Maybe I won't like it. Maybe I'll love it. Who knows? And that goes back to that, right? It's just
yeah. I think though, like there are like take zombie movies for example, right? There's 1,000 zombie movies, right?
Oh yeah.
But the zombie movies that people will talk about are the ones that had really great characters, that had a really interesting story, right? And then they left an impact, right? It's not just that zombie movie had a lot of jump scares, like.
Yeah, that's why The Walking Dead was so good because the characters are awesome. Rick Grimes, Michonne, freaking Daryl. You know what I mean? Like, they're great characters, and you're like, man, I want to see what's gonna happen to them surviving in this world. Like when the world and the story speaks to you, and the characters are just in there, sprinkled in there, it works. It just makes you want to be there. Like you talked about Dune, right? We're watching the movie, and the world is speaking without saying anything. You're just like, look at these great shots of the movie, look at these things, and then you're like, wow. And then look at the way the characters are interacting with this world. You're like, damn, that's really dope. I want to continue to watch this. It just becomes more effective in storytelling. But I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I think it bears repeating, right? Like, I think Hollywood might be getting the message if we're voting for our dollars, right? We if you think about all the movies that have defined the 2020s, it's probably Top Gun Maverick, it's probably Dune 2 now. I'm trying to think of what's another one that would like stand out. But yeah,
like Mission Impossible, right?
Mission Impossible. Well, but it always comes down to the story, right? Like it's a great story. It's just a fun ride. Like you have to start with characters. You have to give them, traits that people can see themselves in, or like, even the bad guy in Dune, right? What was his name?
Austin Butler.
That's his name, but what was the character's name?
I don't remember the character's name. I'm really bad with names.
But like people were gravitating towards that performance because he had such a charisma about him. He was like, man, this is a great villain. Like I can totally, like he's a scary, threatening villain. Like they set him up.
He's selling you on it. They're setting him up, right?
Great character, right?
We talk about that with the Captain Marvel. We always talk about this with Brie Larson. They brought her in there, and they're like, here, you're gonna like her,
right?
Why? Why?
Because Thor said, because I like her. That's
why?
They're just trying to make you.
It's
like
it's like no, like that's not how it works.
Yeah,
that's not how it works. It just you don't just throw someone here, and they start working. You know what I mean? It's just I don't know.
I mean,
we talk crap on the Marvels a lot, don't we? Or at least I do.
I think it's just because that was like the most
straw.
recent one. I really didn't think that, like Ant-Man was the same way, right? Like I don't know. Well, I will say though, the nice thing about Disneyland when we went back on Tuesday was Disneyland for the most part is unchanged. Like you still have Indiana Jones, you still have like the Matterhorn, the Thunder Mountain, like all those classics. It still exists at Disneyland, and we saw the redoing of Splash Mountain and Tiana's Bayou. A lot of people are like really mad. I mean, obviously it was a super popular ride, right? It was a great ride. Like a lot of people, that's one of their favorite rides when they come to Disneyland. They're like, gotta ride Splash Mountain. So taking that away, I understand. Or like, why are we rebranding? Why don't they just make a Tiana ride, right? Like, why don't they just expand? I totally get that. But at the same time, like Tiana it's not a bad movie. The Princess and the Frog is not a bad movie. I feel like that's another one of those Disney movies that, you know, I could see it being a ride. But I feel like it's kind of similar to what they're doing with like the classics, right? Like they're changing the classics again, and it feels like that a little bit with Splash Mountain. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm hoping that people are voting with their dollars, right? Like we always say, like vote with your dollars. And dude, it's getting tough out there, though. I will say, like we're gonna have to talk about this guy, right? Speaking of voting with your dollars, we got to talk about, dude. Max is cracking down, like you said. Remember, it started with Netflix, where like you can't share your passwords. So now you gotta pony up if you want to share. You know, if you want to have Netflix, you gotta have it just by yourself. What are your thoughts on this, dude? That Max is doing the same thing. They're going down the same road.
Well, I mean, I kind of said I said this like a while ago, right when Netflix had started, because Netflix still was making money and no one really voted with their wallet. I mean, they did, right? Essentially, people were like, "I need to keep my Netflix." Other streaming services are going to follow. It makes sense for them to do so. We talked about the money that isn't made with streaming services. It isn't as viable as people think. Just because you're paying them $20+ or whatever for HD doesn't mean that they're making the money back from whatever streaming movie that they're just putting on the platform. It's not sustainable in the long haul. It just isn't.
Right.
And so them trying to raise the prices is a way to combat that, but also like I don't know if it's going to be enough. Like I don't foresee this being a thing that is going to be like just the viable option for them. I think they're going to end up doing sorry, this is a little freaking random conspiracy that I've been meaning to tell you about this. And it's just something I thought about.
Tell me.
I'm really thinking that streaming services are going to create a thing, and I'm sure most of them have it, but it's going to be a premium tier. They're going to try to work this into the streaming service. And but what I mean by that is they're going to first try to tell you, hey, it's going to be $20 a month now. I don't know, but if you want, we can give you the one with ads for $10. You know what I mean? Make it enticing, and you're like, well,
oh, for sure. The ad one is gonna always stay cheap, right? Because they can make more money with the ads. Yeah,
because the thing, right, is that you're still paying them $10 for the ad with the one with ads, but with their ads that are on your streaming, they're making more money off those ads. They're making the money that they would have. Like that's why
it's
cable companies and it's back to television. So, exactly. I'm so glad you said that's what I was about to say. And so they're gonna do that, and they're gonna come up with a more premium tier where they're gonna try to make it more enticing. Where it's like, well, if you get this premium tier, you can watch Dune 20 days before it comes out, after the movie theater release, or something that's more like of that like. Because they have a runtime of 30 days or something that they really want a movie to be out, something like that. I forget, but they leave a movie
higher now. It's like 60 or something. 60,
oh, so they changed it. So whatever, but I think
they're never going back to the day and date like they did.
Oh no, never, because it doesn't make them money.
Yeah.
But they're gonna make a thing. Sorry, I don't know if you heard that. The cat was stuck right here, and I tried to get her out, but I was like trying to get her up. But like they're gonna end up creating some sort of. Oh, sorry, that just threw me off. They're gonna come up. They're gonna come up with something that they're gonna make it look like where it's gonna be like, oh yeah, you're gonna get the movie a lot earlier if you do this. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And one of the big things that I'm really really thinking that they're gonna end up doing, bro, and I don't want to put this into the universe, but I don't doubt this. I don't know if they'll lose money. I don't know if it's gonna work. But you know how AMC does A-list, right?
Yeah.
With A-list, you get it, you pay for it monthly. If for whatever reason you're like, I don't want to pay for it this month, and you end your service, and obviously you're like, well, I'll just get it next, like the 2 months from now. You have to wait a grace period of 6 months in order to get that A-list again. Now, I'm sure there's ways to you create a new account, a new email, whatever, and do it again. I'm thinking they might do something like that for HBO or for these things. That's probably the next step. And that sucks not to say that.
That would be ridiculous. But yeah,
it would be really stupid. But it's like,
I mean, did you hear about Wendy's that's thinking about doing the varied pricing based on traffic? Like on peak hours, they're gonna charge you more than if you were to go like off hours.
That's so crazy. That's kind of what they do now with like certain produce, right? Like if you go to a steakhouse, they don't tell you, hey, the steak is $80 always. This depending on the kind of steak you get, but it's like, oh, the steak is $90 because demand is higher or because the meat is more. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, definitely they could do something like that. Again, vote with your wallet. Don't allow them to do this, because if they continue to do this, they're gonna keep going, right? But not everyone thinks about it. Like I think in front of the cast, Lex was telling me that him and his girlfriend had just gotten Netflix again. They're like paying for their own or whatever, and he was telling me, he's like, oh well, I'm paying for it, and I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, wow, why is it so expensive? He was saying, and I'm like,
oh yeah.
And then he's like, and then they just released another statement. Netflix, the company, they're like, we're gonna increase it again.
Yeah, it keeps going up. Like every year, they're gonna keep raising the price.
And it's because they're able to tell you, like, you're gonna get The Last Airbender season 2 and 3, so be excited. Here you go. I don't know,
dude. I don't even know what's gonna happen. I was trying to see if there's like a chart. Is there a chart about how many like what's the pricing for all these streaming services? Oh, is this recent? I wonder if this is recent. Something like this. Let's see. Netflix is $15. I don't know if this is up to date. When was that? Oh, this is 2019. That's way out of date.
No, dude, I was about to tell you. I'm like, it is not.
You're like, no,
that's not how much it costs, dude. We pay way more now. And if you wanted HD or 4K or whatever, it's even more money.
Oh, this is 2013.
Oh my gosh, I want to tell you something, but this is so random. Our mother-in-law, obviously we married her daughters, but sounds funny. But I want to tell you this because this is really funny. She had one day had gotten the Hallmark channel because she likes Hallmark movies like I do. And so she's like, I'm going to get the Hallmark thing added to Roku or whatever channel. There was a tier above the one she got, because the one she got, she's like, oh, it's cheap, I'm going to just do it. She got it, and it was streaming stuff to her in 480p or like really bad quality, bro.
Oh,
and I'm
gosh.
like, and I was like, what? I never looked into this. I just saw it happening in my face, and I can't look at her account, you know?
You're like,
but I'm like, why are you paying for this? And she's like, oh, that's how it is. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I already paid for the year.
And she's fine with it. She doesn't.
No, she was not fine with it. She's like, I already paid for the year. I don't know why I did that. And I'm like, oh gosh.
Oh, she prepaid for the year. Wow.
She had paid for the year, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And they like, you get the next tier, which is like more money, and then they give it to you in HD. And I was like, this is so ridiculous. It's like, how are you gonna give me something crappy to stream? Like, how is that even like visually appealing? I kind of want to look this up. I'm gonna definitely look this up.
Is there a 480p? That's crazy.
Yeah, so, it was like really bad, bro. And she told me that's what she was paying for, and I remember being like, "Oh my gosh."
So this one is October 2023. So it's a little off, but I'm curious, like, how many of these do you have right now? Like, out of what is it, 7, 8?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 of them.
You have 5 of them, and are they all like ad free, or are they?
They're all ad free. Actually, no. HBO Max has ads, and Paramount, which
dude, Amazon's not on here. Shoot.
Oh yeah, Amazon has ads now.
And yeah, they just started it with the ads, right?
I'm curious how many getting sued, right?
Are they getting? Oh, that's right, because it was not it's like all like the way they switched it was a little sneaky.
The way they did it wasn't supposed to.
But yeah, the people that are watching right now, like, how many of these do you have? Like, do you guys all pay for Netflix, or like, do you have like 7, like Ernie does, or?
No, I have
'Cause I
5.
think-
But dude,
Maybe
Netflix is
5.
popular right now as heck because of Love Is Blind and all those things. Like Netflix is like the one that most people have.
I think Netflix is still the number one for sure.
Yeah, I mean for sure. But I feel
And
like
I always seem
Disney
to find
Plus is,
something
like,
on
second.
Netflix. I don't know if it's the thumbnails or whatever, but I always seem to find something like, oh, I'll watch this. Like I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine again, even though I've seen it. But for some
That's
reason,
funny. I was
wanted to
watching
watch it.
clips of that today.
You should watch, dude. It's a fun
I've
show.
watched a few seasons, but I couldn't finish it. I don't know what it was.
I think we have Hulu, Max, Disney. We have everything but Paramount and Peacock.
You're not peacocking,
Well, I had Peacock, but then
but then you
think I
decided to fly
finished-
away.
I think I finished. What was it? What's that Western show that I was watching? With Kevin Costner.
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone. Yeah. So I was finishing Yellowstone. I was like, oh, I don't need it anymore. Yeah, too much, man. Like, imagine if Netflix goes up to like $50.
See, that's what I'm
for the
saying.
top
You see
10.
how you did that, where you got rid of Peacock because you had finished the show.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I'm telling you, they're gonna do that AMC A-list thing where it's gonna be like, well, we're gonna freaking, if you don't want Peacock now, and then next month you're not gonna get it. You have to wait a grace period.
That's just
It's
crazy,
gonna make you not want to get rid
bro.
of
Why
it.
would they
Isn't
do
that
that though? Because
wild?
then it would.
Because they're gonna not lose money, bro. The whole point of these streaming services and why they pull out a bunch of crap like Disney does is because they want you to stay in the thing. That's why they kept going quality over quantity. I mean, sorry, quantity over quality for the
Yeah.
most part. Like they kept dropping things because they're like, well, this is this. Netflix had just finished I forget what, I don't know if Netflix was doing this, but they would drop a whole season and people would binge. And that was like the thing for a while. People were like, I want to binge. I'm binging. It was like the thing people would say, right? That is not the case anymore. Most things are dropped episodically every week, right? Like Loki
Yeah.
for Disney, because they want to keep you in the service.
I can see, right? Like it's like a penalty, like a incentive to stay because you're like, oh shoot, I'm
Yeah.
gonna not have it for like. But I still feel like
Yeah, like
that wouldn't be enough to sway me. I'd be like,
I don't know
screw
if
you
I don't know if you do this, but Chat GPT, if what it does is like, oh, you pay for it monthly or whatever, right? But if you get to a point where you're like, you don't pay for that month and you try to get it, it's like, oh, there's too many people on the servers, like we can't accept you. Have you ever seen that?
Mm-mm.
So you can't buy the Chat GPT 4.0 or whatever. You can't do it. It's a thing. Yeah, it's
that's
crazy.
interesting.
It happens. And then what I did is I had, because I use it, I had done it on my PC. I was like, I'm gonna pay for it again because I've been using it. And then it's like it told me that, and I'm like, well, that's stupid. And then so I went on my iPhone and I did it through the Apple thing, and it did it. And I'm like, is it a lie, or is it a way for me to be like, well, you gotta get it, kind of like Amazon when it drops like the pricing of something. It just dropped 2 cents. You gotta get it now.
Mm. That's interesting. I've never seen that. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
You know which one that I've been watching though, like that I actually find kind of nice and nostalgia is I don't know if you can see this, but
Is it
Tubi, bro.
Tubi?
No, it's Pluto. I keep going back to Pluto TV. There's Freebie. Okay, so this is based on February. So far, YouTube is still at the top. And it looks like Pluto's 7%.
That's
Apparently,
crazy.
1 in 3 people in the U.S. tune into like one of those TV streaming services, like Pluto or Tubi.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like cable, right? It feels like you're going back to watching cable, and I honestly think that's what people are wanting. A lot of like the older generation, they just want to watch TV. Like they're like, just give me the TV format that I'm used to.
I'll be back, bro. I'll continue with the podcast real quick. I had to take out the dog.
Oh my gosh. Let's switch over to well, I kind of want to get Ernie's reaction, but this is kind of cool. So speaking of the Dune, apparently a man's dying wish was that they wanted to see the newest Dune film, and the director actually
I
went
am
over.
back, dude. I took out the dog really quickly, dude.
That was too quick, bro.
No, I mean I just
Did
had
you
to
just
take
kick
her
him
out.
out?
No, I didn't kick her out. I picked her up and dragged her, and I dragged her not by the balls. No, I picked her up and I put her outside because she's I have a little
It was her
wiener dog,
time.
and she's a little older, and she's what is it when you can't just pee everywhere? Incontinent
It's
or
like incontinent. Yeah, I think so.
Encanto,
Encanto.
whatever. But she just pees not even on command anymore, so I have to like take her out quickly, or else she pees all over the place.
Yeah, I understand. You gotta go. You gotta go, right? She's like, she come up to you and be like, hey, senor.
Not anymore. She doesn't even freaking. She
Oh,
used
you
to.
just have a sense for it now?
No, now I just time it so like it's every hour or something like that. I think I
Oh,
think
yeah,
I
the
went over
time
by
is-
20 minutes. Because we've been streaming for an hour and 20.
how funny. Did you want to talk about I thought this was a cool story. How the man was like on his deathbed and de Villeneuve made it happen. I thought it was pretty cool. It says palliative care patient's end of life wish was to see the second installment of Denis Villeneuve's I can always say his name wrong. Dune before it passed. Quebec filmmaker and his team rushed to make it happen almost 2 months before the film's premiere and just days before the man died. It began in early January when a middle-aged man who was in end of life care in the region of Siriguay in Saint-Jean in Quebec told end of life worker Josie Gagnon that he was a cinephile and really wished he could see the movie before it passed. Dude, it reminds me of that guy John Schnepp. He was like a really big nerd, and I was thinking like he didn't get to see Avengers Endgame, and I was like, oh man, like that's kind of what this reminds me of.
That's sad.
But imagine being like the biggest Dune fan and being like, I really want to see this before I die, and then the director's like, well, let's make it happen, and like he brought it over like 2 months before the film was supposed to be out. So I can imagine like they kind of rushed, like they were like, we let's make this. That's pretty cool, dude. I think that's pretty cool. Any thoughts before? I know it's just kind of a
No, it's really great. I mean, I've always had that a thought in my head randomly. Like I'd be like, oh, like what if I wouldn't be able to get to see something like if they made Man of Steel 2 or something like that. I think when Man of Steel 1 had come out, I know it's stupid, but because I'm a Superman fan, but I was really excited for that movie, and I remember when that movie had come out, they were talking about the apocalypse, that the world was gonna end. I'm like, that would suck if I didn't get to see this movie and the world ended like that. You know what I mean? Obviously,
right.
this is quite different, right? Because this guy's dying. This is all freaking. I think the calendar had ended for the Aztec warriors or something like that, and that's why the world was ending. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I remember.
It was
this.
something really stupid, but it's cool that he was able to at least get to watch the film and enjoy it in his last moments. You know what I mean? And it's sad though, but it's nice.
What would be a movie that you would want to like it, like a movie you've seen already, but like what would be that movie where it's like if I'm on my deathbed, I want to watch it. This would be a satisfying last movie.
Dang, that's a good one. And the one that
Or
comes
maybe
to
there's one that hasn't come out yet that you're like, I really want to watch that.
my favorite movie I always say is The Grinch, right? Who Stole Christmas, Jim Carrey. But like the movie that always comes to mind that is like a very just like comforting movie that I just love is Jackie Chan's Drunken Master.
Oh yes, that's one of your
Dude,
favorites.
I think and I know I don't watch it probably the way most people do, but I watch it with the English dubbed. So like they it's not even Jackie Chan. It's like but it's like, dude, I love that movie. Like I could just watch it and enjoy it. And I think that would be that for me.
That would be like final movie to watch.
Final movie to watch, probably. Yeah. But there's got to be some more stuff, but I don't know. I can't think of anything. That's the one that just came to mind.
Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing right now other than Dune, right? Like other than the last Dune, it would be interesting to watch. But I can't think of any movie that maybe Deadpool, because we haven't seen it yet. Like that would be like a movie that if I were to die like today, I would be like, oh man, I wish I'd seen the Deadpool movie because I've heard so many cool things are in this movie. That might be one. And I think, well, definitely not Twister. I could live without Twister, but
Oh my gosh, Twisters.
That's right.
Twisters.
Inside Out 2?
Too.
Trying to think what other movies are coming out this year that I'd be like, I had to see this before.
I want you to be like, I want to see the original footage of the Rachel Zegler Snow White. Like that's what you were excited. No, actually, you know
what about the
you know
Batman,
what
the Batgirl movie?
The Batgirl, yeah. You know what would be your dying wish? With the last thing you'd want to do is go to the glass glow with the Willy Wonka thing. Dang.
Oh, dang. That's true. Let's go. You think they'll still? Dude, this one, I feel like this is eventually going to get made, and I feel like this is one I would really love to watch.
Dude, you know what's funny? You know what's funny about that glass glow thing? You know how there's the Oompa Loompa lady that was like all sad or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that girl does like birthday greetings. So like you can hire her or like pay her money, be like, hey, can you say something about people? And then she'll like, I think that's like her new job right now.
Oh, no. That's awesome.
Why'd you say, oh no? That's great. She's capitalizing on this terrible thing.
Well, I mean, it's good, but it's like, yeah. It's just funny that such a thing came out.
Yeah, it's a silly thing, but it's, yeah.
I mean,
but yeah, dude, Batman Beyond, dude, oh man, I would love to see that too. Honestly, I would love to see a live action of this. I don't want
a live action would be great, dude. Any Batman Beyond movie, if that was like my dying wish, like that would probably be up there for me, dude. This looks sweet, especially if it's like in the Spider-Verse universe, dude. Come on,
that's so dope. That's such a great character too, bro. I don't know if you remember.
I think they're gonna eventually make it, right? They have to make it.
They have to. I mean, they can't be
some
that
form,
stupid. They can't be.
I know they were saying like, "Oh, the audience is not big enough." I'm like, it's Batman.
What are you talking about? It's like one of the greatest sequels to the Batman cartoon, like to the original animated series. Like it just takes off after the fact. It's so good, and then the way that they intertwine the stories and the Justice League stuff later on with Terry McGinnis is so freaking great. I honestly believe that the way DC like creates story to story to story in their characters is far better than Marvel. I really believe that. Personally for me. But I think it's just because I've always grown up with DC as a kid. And like it's so good, bro.
I think it goes back to the character thing like we were talking about, right? Like you can see yourself in certain aspects of these characters and it just kind of hits differently. But yeah, this would probably be one of them. Also, like the last Spider-Verse movie, I'd probably want to watch.
I heard you wanted your last dying wish to watch is Tron 3 with Jared Leto.
Oh, that'd probably be yours, bro. What if it's really, really good?
I hope so. I really hope. I hope that somehow like Daft Punk hears about it and they're like, you know what? Maybe we should have never quit each other. But in French, obviously, they're like,
yeah, they're like,
I'll say a croissant. You know, I don't know why I just said croissant. I just said croissant. It's just, I like, there's a Mickey Mouse episode where he's like, hey, Mickey, hey, what croissant? But, if the Daft Punk talks to each other and they're like, let's do it. Let's come back for Tron 3. Boom. But I doubt it. They're probably going to get like some other DJ or some other people music. I don't know. Maybe they'll get Ludwig van Gorsson.
Dang, that just reminded me of the Mickey's Railway. You went on that, right?
I did, yeah. It was great. It was awesome.
That was good. Did you have a long line or did it go right through?
We had a decent line. That wasn't too crazy. We went pretty fast, but it was pretty long. But we also had the Genie Plus Pass or whatever it's called.
Oh,
so we were able to get a reservation, go in, and
nice.
You know how when you
actually like that line because the line has so many like cool little Easter
cool
eggs.
Things, yeah.
Yeah.
If you love the cartoon, it's like it's so worth it.
So good.
When you go to when you're an A-lister at freaking AMC, and then there's like two lines that they designate, which is freaking hilarious.
Doesn't it feel weird?
It just feels weird because when you go to the A-list, like you guys went and me and my wife aren't anymore, right? And you guys went and we just followed you.
Had to go to the other line.
And I was thinking about it. I'm like, dude, we're not even A-listers anymore. We're D-listers. Like they always like get you guys first. They'll be like, A-list, A-list, and then you
Right? They're
just
like,
walk.
hey, they'll take you over
Like a
here.
Regal the other day that he was all posh about it. He put his chin up, and it was crazy. I was like, Jason, I thought we were family, and he's
like,
all
you
not
don't-
at AMC.
Come on,
Peasant."
guys. This guy watches at least 2 movies a month. At least 2 movies a month.
At least,
He's overpaying, right? He should just get A-list.
yeah, of course.
If anybody else has A-list, like, tell this man. He's saving money. The whole reason he stopped his A-list was because he thought he would save money, but he's going to like all these movies.
I know, but it's because like when
Friend of the
every
cast.
time that I cancel my A-list, like there's nothing there. There's like no movies for that month, and then all of a sudden, Dune's dropping, this and's dropping. It's like,
Right.
you know what I mean? It's just too much.
I know. But like, there's quite a bit of movies coming out soon.
I know. I'm really. I think if the Lord allows, and by the Lord I mean Amelia, my daughter. No, I'm just kidding.
She's dictating. Yes.
She
I always say that, and my wife's like, she can't control it, right? She's a baby. Like, don't. And I'm
controls
like,
everything.
but she controls.
She controls everything, dude.
But we joke. So we
Sure.
got Kung Fu Panda coming out next.
Oh.
Then are you gonna watch?
I like that you brought this out. Like, if like, it was like a Google spreadsheet of why I should get it. Do you work for AMC,
I'm
dude?
trying to sell you, bro.
Did I not know that you got a job from them, or what's going on here?
AMC A-list sponsoring. Like, what if we get
By the
sponsored?
way. That would be awesome, dude. Freaking AMC, friends of the cast, of course. Here, look at all the movies that are coming out. I'll talk. See, dude, what do you want? What do you want, Jason? You want me to get A-list, or do you want me to go to the freaking Star Wars night?
Oh, okay.
You see, my wife is right here, right now.
What would you rather do?
I don't know. Let me ask her. Damn.
Star
Do you
Wars.
Do you want to go to Disney Star Wars night? When is it again? In April something, or do you want to
Sometime in
get
April,
or do you want to get AMC A-list? She said Disneyland.
Oh,
There it is, boys
she
and
said
girls.
Disneyland.
Friends of the cast. That's where we're
Wow.
going.
I'm going to Disneyland. All right.
I know. You know how people always, when they would win, they'd be like, "What are you gonna do after you?"
I'm
I'm going
going
to
to
Disneyland. That's awesome. That's fun. That's true.
All right. Well, we've decided. Let's talk about Inside Out 2.
I forgot about
trailer?
this.
I didn't have a segue. I'm sorry. I didn't have a segue for that one.
Well, since we're full of emotions, let's talk
That
about
was good. That was good.
Thank you. I aim to please. Can you tell me? Wait, can you? Never mind. I wanted you to set me up and tell me that that was a great idea or something, but it wasn't an idea. It was just a statement.
So Pixar has released their first full trailer for Inside Out 2, revealing the voice cast has 4 new emotions. We got anxiety, envy, ennui, and embarrassment.
What was that again? She says it in the movie.
It's ennui, I think.
I'm gonna look it up right now. That sounds like a straight up Moana character.
Ennui.
It says a feeling of
Ennui. Sorry, I said it wrong. Ennui.
And dissatisfaction arising from a lack of occupation or excitement. That's
It's like
interesting.
apathy, sort of.
That's a new word that I've learned because.
In the-
You know what I'm talking about? The Moana, the beginning of
yeah.
it. That's a good.
Sorry.
Continue.
So, is it Ennui? I just said it wrong. Say Ennui. But anyway, so these are the 4. So this is embarrassment. This is anxiety in the orange, and then the green one is
Envy, no?
envy, and then ennui is like the emo. So it's kind of like the emo character.
They should have just called them the emo one.
I love that they're like teaching you what the word means though now, right? Like all the kids are gonna know what this
because all
is.
the kids are gonna learn, huh? I
Yeah.
tell my daughter, "Hey, do you know what ennui is?"
She's gonna be like, I feel ennui today. Like it's like Henri, but ennui. I feel ennui today. But what do you think of the trailer? Did you we got to see like a little bit more of it?
It was cute. I think it got me a little bit more excited for the movie. I definitely want to check it out. I mean, I was gonna do it regardless, but I think seeing this trailer kind of sold me on it a lot more. I seeing the little characters kind of interact with each other, because like Joy is such a, oh my gosh, what's the word, like she wants to take control of everything. Control freak, right? That's how she's been in the first one, and she does it in the second one. And to seeing her try to control the new stuff is pretty interesting because they all look at her little stupid headset.
I know she's the only one like mission control, right?
Like she's actually like trying to do her job. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And she's always like giving everyone else pep talks, like it's okay, we got this. You know, she's joy. You know, she's got to motivate.
I think my favorite is the little emo blue one, whatever her name is. I forgot what's her name. The sadness. No, the sadness. The little one, the one with the little the little turtleneck.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. I like her. She had such a great moment too in the first one.
Oh yeah. So great.
This is interesting because I feel like they're kind of expanding on the world where now they have like suppressed emotions, because like you don't have that as a kid. Now you're like suppressing, like when they put them in the little glass jar, she's like, we're suppressed emotions, and it's like, oh, that's interesting. Like they're kind of expanding on
the sweaty palms. Did you see that? He grabs his
like,
sweaty
oh,
palms.
your palms are super sweaty. Envy's like always like, oh, you have the coolest this, the coolest that. It's cool. I think I like how they're expanding it out.
Yeah,
she
it's cool.
Definitely looks much different. Like they've aged her up quite a bit.
Well, now she's a teenager, right? She's a full blown.
Yeah.
And the other one, she was like still a kid.
And so now it's almost like these 4 emotions are taking over, right? Like the 4 new emotions are. See, they put them in the suppressed jar, which is cute. Anxiety is taking over everything. And then the mom's
that's
like,
so fun,
is this what I have to look forward to?
This is fun, but yeah, because it's like that's how it was when you were a teenager. Like you get these freaking emotions all wrapped in one, and it's freaking crazy, huh? I remember
this
when I was
area with all the little strings. I'm curious what that is. Like, what is that? That's very like Avatar.
That's the
tree.
No, that's the thing. Like where the emotions connect, right? Is it like in the first one? Am I tripping? Something like that.
I always thought that I almost thought that this was like the valley where Bing Bong gets sent when they kind of like a memory that goes away.
Yeah,
I don't know,
because that's where all the little balls are disappearing or whatever. Little orbs, I mean.
Yeah, but there you see like little orbs. Maybe these are core memories or something, or these are memories.
Possibly.
She's in the memory cortex or something. I don't know. I think it's cool though how they are expanding on the world. Like what was it? The sarcasm. That's cute. And then whenever they were shouting things, it was anyone on the other side hears it very sarcastically. That was clever. Yeah, it definitely made me more excited to see it, I think, than the first trailer. I was like, what?
The little jelly beans, bro.
They're like, how rude, because the way she says it.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I'm so glad to see you guys. She's like, I'm so glad to see you guys. June 14th. That's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, I'll probably watch that for my birthday.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Double feature, dude. Last time my wife took me to, I was really grateful about this. She took me to a movie in the morning, and then she took me to a movie in the afternoon, like in the evening time. And I remember being like, "Oh my gosh, I don't think I've seen 2 movies in one day, and since I was a kid." Wow. And it was nice, dude. I like that. I like when I get treated like royalty. You know what I'm talking about? Freaking in the
what's that, bro?
The Force Awakens, when he goes, and she is royalty, and she is that. When he's talking about Princess Leia, and he's all, this is really gonna help. It's like the Luke Skywalker coordinates or whatever, and he's all, this is really gonna help or whatever. Oscar Isaac, and then he's all, and she's always be a princess. I forgot what he says, and he's all, and she is that. Sorry, I don't know. I went on a rant. My bad. I just really like that scene. That's a great actor, and he dies. You know,
how often do you watch The Force Awakens? Like, how often do you watch?
Never.
Never?
No. I used to watch it a lot.
That's a core memory for you, though.
It is a core memory because I like that actor and I like Oscar Isaac, and he just, the way that line is delivered, and she is royalty, like it just sounds really sweet. So I've always mimicked it, and I'm always like, she is royalty. That's why I will say it to you.
The one I always remember is the first prequel with the guy with the and he goes, "Be gone with you."
That's the second one, The Last Jedi. Are you talking about the freaking
what's the
Benicio del Toro?
Is it Benicio del Toro?
The guy that is at the freaking Las Vegas?
No. I'm talking about the prequels with miso sauce.
Oh, my bad. I thought you were talking about the Force Awakens movies, but well,
like the king of that underwater era.
Oh yeah, and he goes,
and he goes,
yeah.
I always remember that. Be gone with you.
That guy's sweet, dude.
Dude.
My one of my buddies, Adrian, he friend of the cast. He he does a really good job doing that, mimicking that for whatever reason. He's like the only guy that I've seen do that really well. He goes, it's so sweet.
It's such a, I don't know who came up. Oh, you know what? You reminded me of Javier Bardem, that part in the movie where he does the little. That's kind of what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
Dude, I used to do that as a kid, like all the time, and this is the first time I've seen it in a movie. What was that guy's
show
name?
us,
Dude?
prove it.
Nah, I don't want to do it. I'm too scared.
Don't be scared.
You just make a little ball in the pocket of your. That's what it is. Oh, you.
Well, he did it, friends of the cast. He did it. He's part of the Duners. The other day, I saw Jason doing the sand walk, trying to get to his car.
Cartoon for inspiration. Interesting. Sorry, I just saw that. Was there any other trailers before we wrap it up that you wanted to?
No, man. I think that's about it. Thank you, friends of the cast. Oh, look, you can see my wife in the background. Look at.
Oh,
like,
she's there.
Surely she's
Let's
a
go for
rose.
Full screen.
It's already too late. No, it's already too late. Oh, there she is.
Shit.
Oh,
there she is.
I guess we'll just end it here. Friends of the cast, thank you so much for tuning in every week when we drop an episode and when we go on our live stream, whether it be on time or whether it is not.
we were late today. Apologies.
We're always late, dude.
We're gonna start scheduling it out.
It's just really tough. I mean, life happens. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
I blame Amelia. No, I don't.
I blame. I know because you weren't even. She wasn't. I was already on.
Late. Yeah,
it was you that freaking was at a recital.
I went
or something.
to my niece had a play. Like she was they were putting on a show for Finding Nemo. Like she she got a couple parts. She was like one of the.
What was she? Was she the?
She wasn't Dory.
Wait, I want to say something.
That's Moana.
What's more important, dude? Family or the podcast? I'm just kidding.
Oh dang!
Imagine, dude, that would be a terrible thing. That would
they
not
are
be
one
fun.
and the same.
They are one and the same. But yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that, dude. I'm glad you had fun with your niece. That's always nice. I haven't had that happen because obviously that's great. Friend of the cast, the niece.
Yeah. We, thank you guys for joining us. We should probably wrap it up. Appreciate you guys tuning in live, and also if you're tuning in next week, or anytime in your week. Hope you guys are having a great week, and hopefully this was a nice little break from all the
dude
monotony.
Dang, what a big word.
Sorry,
unani, like that other big word, unanis or whatever you said. I want to say something.
Ennui.
You know what I did get to say? I finished the Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah, how'd you like?
And I'm not going to talk about it. Dun, dun. Come back to the next episode next Thursday. The Saturday Night Live music.
Oh right.
Yeah, no, we'll talk about it next week. I think if I'm not
Sydney
mistaken,
Sweeney was on.
Friend of the cast, Jace here is going to be gone. He's going to go meet. I think he's meeting. If I'm not mistaken,
it's not next week.
CEO.
It's the week after. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Then we'll talk about it next week. I think I'm going to have Kyle Goldendoodle on the episode. He may hop on with us. That's cool. I thought it was going to be next week that you were going to be gone.
Week of the 18th.
Okay. So
if you guys have any ways to get out of work trips, let me know.
You say you got sick. I don't know what else.
I know.
Unless somehow you post this episode and you have this clip of why you're not going, and then people are like, "Well, no, you just lied."
Right? They're gonna be like, "Well, obviously you're fine. You're looking for ways to get out of it." No, it'll be good. I'm sure it'll be good. I'm just trying to talk myself into it. Another. I
kind of want you to bring me something back.
Ooh, a cheese pizza. Going back to New York, so
I want a sweater that says "I love New York."
I'm gonna get you a authentic chewed piece of bubble gum from the sidewalk.
From the sidewalk, the one that
the elf
gets.
Yeah.
Ugh. Give me a big rat. Bring me a big rat back. The ones we always see on the.
I saw the one on TikTok. He's like, my dude, that's Master Splinter.
He's let him go. He's got a family. He's got 3 turtles waiting for him at home.
Yeah. That was awesome.
But yeah, thank you guys as always for tuning in every week when we drop an episode. We appreciate it, and we appreciate you. Please, friends of the cast, follow us at Watch Closely Pod on Twitter and Instagram. There, I and Jason will be there to answer some questions, talk movies, talk all kinds of cool stuff. If you just want to ask us about our day, if you want to just tell us about your day, you can. We're there. We're listening.
That's right. Appreciate you
Jason,
guys.
send us home.
Yeah, if you guys stuck around to the end, you know what I'm gonna say. You guys are the true fans, and I appreciate you guys tuning in and sticking around to the end.
The true friends.
The true friends of the cast. We should make shirts. Friends of the cast. That'd be awesome. Or hats if you want. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. And I should play the outro music just because that's what we do here. Play the outro music. You know, let it wash over you. As we get into this,
Little, you know, little, you know the Prince movie. Why don't you go water yourself in the waters, or shower yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka? You know what I'm talking about?
Minnetonka, yeah. Oh my gosh,
Dude, I'm excited for tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday.
It is Friday.
I'm chilling. I'm so excited to just relax. But then I say that, and then I have a big exam on Saturday.
Oh man! All right, we gotta go.